Mr. Chairman. My name is Aidan Christie. I represent CEP Architectural Facades, one of the corporate participants. I'm instructed by Clyde Co, and I'm appearing with Mr. Jim Sturman and Mr. Andrew McGee. Mr. Chairman, our written submissions are limited to the issue of expert evidence.
Yes.
We have raised three issues. First, the current position of CEP in relation to expert evidence. Secondly, the proposed timetable for expert evidence. And thirdly, the division of issues between Phase 1 and Phase 2 and any consequence of that decision. Mr. Chairman, I propose to make very short submissions to indicate our current position in the light of the remarks and observations which have been made yesterday. And then, Mr. Chairman, I'll pick up on the two additional questions which you've been putting to people who have gone before me. Before I go any further, may I say we are obviously aware that these are not adversarial court proceedings. It is for the inquiry to investigate, and we take on board Mr. Millett's observations, both in his written statement and in his remark yesterday, that any party wishing to adduce expert evidence will have to be in a position to show why it cannot be addressed by the inquiry's experts and why it is necessary for that party to adduce its own evidence. Taking our 3 points in turn, Mr. Chairman, without access to the site, our analysis of the expert issues will have to be confined to the documents and a desktop study. That is not satisfactory, but it is obviously unavoidable for the reasons which we have heard. But we will review our position when the inquiry's experts' reports are produced. As to the timing of responses to the inquiry's experts' reports, we welcome the observation of counsel for the inquiry that the inquiry will be sympathetic in relation to those matters. We understand it's proposed there be a further procedural hearing at the end of January, and we are content to wait and see. Our position is that we should be permitted at least 6 to 8 weeks to analyse reports and respond, but we're happy to postpone the issue until January to see what proposals might be made by counsel to the inquiry. Our third and last point, Mr. Chairman, relates to the division of evidence between Phase 1 and Phase 2. We appreciate that Phase 1 is a fact-finding exercise and will be addressing what happened and how, but not why. But we have concerns that there may be some blurring of those distinctions and that expert evidence may stray into an analysis of the why. We simply draw attention to the point at this stage because it may be we'll want to raise the issue when we've seen the inquiry's experts' reports. But we support the observations of Mr. Maxwell Scott that some clarity would be very helpful in relation to the distinction. Mr. Chairman, I assume that you want me to comment on the two additional points.
Well, if you have comments you'd like to make, please do, yes.
We take a neutral position in relation to the consultative panel.
Yes.
In relation to position statements, our view is that it's premature, that we shouldn't be required to put in a position statement until certainly we have disclosure, until we have the experts' reports, and until we know more about the issues which we have to address. But, Mr. Chairman, we are perfectly happy, obviously, to make an opening statement in relation to Phase 1. Those are my submissions.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, next